Hello, my name is Chris Jenkins, and this is going to be a project presentation for Team Cider and our BoreNoMore app. So the members of our team are listed here: Sungyoung Kim, myself, Christopher Jenkins, Yue Wu, Durga Kali, and Ru Jia. Our TA mentor was Abhishek Koala, and our external mentor and instructor is Tia Pope. So our goal for the project was to build a simple interactive web-based app that would use a Q&A style interface to help a user measure how bored they might be and alleviate that boredom by recommending fun activities for them to do. The way we did this was obviously we needed to measure the user's boredom. We did that by asking them specific questions tailored to measure boredom. Based on the measurements that we made there, we would give them catered recommendations, also using previous feedback from previous questionnaires they filled out. Those questionnaires would be saved and loaded from a FHIR database where a profile for each user is maintained. And the last requirement for our app was that it needed to be simple and enjoyable to use and avoid things like big blocks of text that might increase a user's boredom. So here's the breakdown of the roles on our team. Sung Young acted as the project manager and took on a lot of the administrative tasks like arranging meetings and creating tasking. Myself, Chris Jenkins, acted as the lead developer and architect, where I kind of led the code development and handled the majority of the deployment pipeline. Durga was a developer along with Yue. Both of them carried out various development and testing tasks throughout the project. And Ru did a lot of the background research and documentation work.
We did research on the literature and found that except those who have mental illness, for most bored people, they usually feel a loss of incentive or purpose, while for those who are not bored, they are involved in many interests and activities. That's where we started. So we want to kill boredom by engaging people in many activities. It's true that there are some apps which can help you to do activities, but usually they just focus on one activity. And there are many webs that give you a ranking list, but you need to find out what you really want to do from tons of apps. There is no existing app which can combine all the apps together and give recommendations according to the user's response, but our app does.
Hello everyone, this is BoreNoMore group number 3, and we built a activity recommendation app, and the app collects the questionnaires from the user in a survey format to see what kind of activities they are interested in, as well as collect some diagnostic questions that could help us gauge if they are suffering from any kind of depression that needs any medical attention. So to begin, the patient will log in with their patient ID, and this has to be the exact ID, or say that you are missing a letter so it doesn't match, then it's going to give you an error, say please enter a valid patient ID. And what the patient ID does is it links to the FHIR database, and the questions that you answer and the activities that you have tried are saved as a questionnaire response object that can be retrieved by the patient ID. So ideally, we would like to make into another way of sign-in where your patient ID is embedded into that format of authentication, because no one's really going to remember this number, but this is how it is for now. That would be the future plan on how we can improve the app further. So let's sign in and get going. So once you have signed in, the app is going to display your name, and then you can get started with the app. So let's get going. So the very first thing it's doing is it's collecting some depression related questionnaire, but we don't want this to be the overarching theme of the app. So we only ask like about one question every time we go through those some of the questionnaires. So the question is reading, are you feeling down, depressed, or hopeless? And let's say no to that. And it asks if we like to go hike, and it's in the dead of winter, it's cold. Let's say I'm not gonna like it and I don't want to go. Watch some videos? Yes, why not? Chat with someone, that would be fun. Gardening? No, it's too cold. and now it has asked some questions, and now it knows what kind of activities I would be interested in. It's going to say like watch some videos, and sure, I said I would like it, so let's go try this activity. Okay, it takes me to YouTube. Okay, I already know that one. Okay, and what's the next activity? It's recommending chat with someone. Okay, let's try that. So it has taken me to ChatIB, and I think this is a website where you can chat with random strangers. Yeah, I think that could be fun. And now that we are done with our activities, we have to rate them, and this rating will be used to filter out the recommendations that might have been not what the user expected or what was fun, so we can make the more engaging recommendation later. So say the link to YouTube, that was mediocre. The link to the chat app, that was something fresh, so I give it 5 stars, and let's redo it. And I'll go through it several times to rack up enough points on the questionnaires. So do you have trouble falling asleep or stay asleep? Let's say yes. And from here, I'm just going to say no to all the questions and the recommendations, so we can demonstrate how our diagnostic feature is working. So let's just get through it. And since I didn't say I liked any activities, it didn't recommend me any. So this time, feeling tired, little energy, yes. And let's say no to all these recommendations. Go through it again. Poor appetite, overeating, yes. Try some comic, no, 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 no. And let's just keep going through. Are you feeling bad about yourself, that you're a failure, or let yourself or family down? Yes. Nope, don't feel like it, don't feel like it. And now it's showing us something different than you have seen us so far. And so you have racked up enough points on those diagnostic questions that it has made the decision that you may need some professional help. So here you can click on the image, and it's going to take you to a website where you can find some therapist. And that was the major theme of our app, that it helps people finding recommendations to get off the boredom, but at the same time it will help people. It slowly collects the data on the diagnostic, because we didn't want it to be like a completely diagnostic medical tool that people feel like they're getting examined on. But in this way, while they are engaging in these questionnaires, they are answering some of the depression related questions, and that we can find out who might need additional help and give them some kind of resource that they can go off of. And the last thing is, when you hit exit button, it will save the data to the file database, so when we open it next time, we can pick up where we left off. Your response just successfully saved. Now please close the window. And that concludes our app demo.
Our team sent out links to approximately 10 users to test out the application functionality and requested to fill out the survey as part of end-user interview. The responses from end users are as follow. All users answered the application has helped them in reducing boredom. 9 out of 10 users answered the activity recommendations are engaging. 8 out of 10 users answered the application was easy and simple to use. 9 out of 10 users answered they would recommend BoreNoMore to family and friends.
This is our Gantt chart. Gantt chart is presented to show and estimate a timeline for the development on the core functionalities and the user interface. As we approached each milestone, more detailed plan added into the Gantt chart as subsections with respective owners for each line item. We spent the last week before our final deadline for the documentation cleanup, deck, and report building to ensure the final deliverable is produced on time. As for our future plans and potential opportunities, we think anonymous direct message feature could be added to our app. Also, we are thinking about using wearable devices to measure users' boredom and then report data to a user's physician. If we can make analysis and data collection for the user more automated, it would be even possible to make the app more functional by monitoring user activity levels to detect when they might get bored. And that wraps up our future plans and opportunities. Again, thank you for watching our presentation regarding our app BoreNoMore. Hope you enjoyed it.